Hello, this is Jennifer from Billings Public Library. Welcome to another edition of Fab Fiber Fridays, where today we're going to learn how to deconstruct a garment. Why would you want to do this? Well, there's a couple good reasons. If you're on the lookout for a really exceptional fiber or a luxury fiber, sometimes the cost of having to buy enough in the skein form can get pretty extensive. So going to a thrift store and purchasing a garment that has luxury fiber in it is sometimes a better option, and it's worth the extra effort of unraveling the fiber. I'm just going to show you this sweater. This is silk and Angora rabbit hair. Got it at Goodwill for $6.99. Of course, I would have paid half of that because it would have been 50% off green tags that day. This is quite a lot of yarn. This is enough to unravel and knit another cardigan or a really fabulous shawl. The cost to buy silk and Angora blend yarn, if you can find it, is going to be pretty steep. Here's another cardigan, also from Goodwill, beautiful navy blue, and this is 100% cashmere, so you're looking at over $30 for just a skein of maybe 200 yards of cashmere yarn. So this is a great deal, and it's well worth the effort to unravel for the yarn. There's a lot of different things you can do with your yarn once you've unraveled it. This is a really pretty sparkly acrylic yarn that I actually spun on my spinning wheel, and I used, you can see the sparkle in there. That was a sparkly cotton acrylic cardigan that I had found at Goodwill, and I spun it with another cardigan that was Angora rabbit hair. And then I used one ply that was just my own hand-spun Cormo wool. But it made this really fabulous, really soft and sparkly skein of yarn. And I did knit this really cute ski cap for a friend out of it. So that's a good way to use the yarn that you make, the yarn that you reclaim from these sweaters. Now this sweater that I'm going to work on today is cotton and nylon, and I think there's a little bit of acrylic in there. But I chose this cardigan because I'm going to make socks out of the fiber that I reclaim from it, and to find a sock yarn that is a cotton and nylon blend is a little trickier. You do have to order it online. Most of the local blends that you can find, say at Hobby Lobby or Joann, are going to be a wool nylon and or acrylic nylon. I've never seen cotton here, and I like cotton socks, so this is what I've chosen to unravel today. And one of the things that you want to look for when you're searching for a garment that can be deconstructed and repurposed, you want to look for something that has really nice seams that can be pulled apart. So we're going to take a look here for the seams, and you see how I can open them up and pull them apart a little bit, and you can see that little bit of ladder. Looks like a little ladder right in between those seams. This little part right here. That is what you're going to rip out in order to separate the seams of the garment out. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top here. And the top might be a little bit tricky because there's this kind of strange turtleneck effect going on, but we still have some nice clear seams right here. You can see that if you pull it apart. And the trick to deconstructing garments is to just be patient. You don't want to start poking holes here and there. You really want to get a really nice long yarn out of your garment, so that way you can knit it without having to join ends. I'm taking the tag off right now, and it's a good idea to take your tag off and save it because it has your fiber contents. I know we all believe that we're never gonna forget what we have, but I'm getting old, so I forget sometimes. And I'm going to put my tag in my plastic bag, and this is where I'm going to keep all the little balls of yarn that I reclaim from this cardigan. Okay, so I'm just going to get started here. I'm going to pull the sweater apart into small pieces so that the turtleneck piece is going to come apart. I'm going to pull the sleeves off, so I'll have at least 4 pieces when I'm all done doing that. And then that's when I'll start pulling the actual yarn out. So deconstruct first and then reclaim fiber. And I probably will bring my scissors in a little bit just to help me. All right, there's the neck. Look at how well that came off. Much better than I expected. And I always save all my little bits and pieces. This is a nice cotton thread. I'm just gonna save it and put it into my little pile of bits and pieces. And someday that's gonna be used to tie off a skein of yarn. And we'll probably see it again when I do my video on solar dyeing, which will be coming up here shortly. You do kind of have to hunt around for the correct direction that the garment was seamed in order to find the right strand to pull. But once you find it, you just need to hunt around a little bit. Once you find it, it takes a lot of the legwork out of pulling these apart. Now I have seen people deconstruct sweaters by just taking a pair of scissors and just cutting straight down the seam, but I like to be just a little more cautious when I do it, because when I get reckless and I use scissors like that, I am more likely to damage the yarn. So I just take my time. This is a practice in patience. There's the thread there. I'm just gonna give it a gentle pull, and that garment just falls right apart. All right, so I've got my neck here. I've got a sleeve already. There's the thread here, turn it inside out. This is definitely a television project. Something to do while you're binge watching the latest season of Walking Dead or something. All right, there's my thread. Just gonna there we go. It's just coming right apart. All the way up. All right. So there's my sleeve, and I've got a neck piece here. I think I'm gonna start here at the top of the sleeve. This is the one time I do like to bring my scissors in, because I find it's just easier. So this is the top of the sleeve here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip with my scissors that very top part of the sweater. All right, now I'm going to discard that piece. You have a lot of little bits and pieces here. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. And pretty soon it'll be time then to start unraveling. I apologize for the background noise. I'm doing this outside in the natural light so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better, so I can see. But I also like working outside if I can, if it's not too hot and sunny. I just like being, where the birds are. I don't know if you heard it, but a few minutes ago, someone was driving down I guess it was out in the alley, and they had like a giant carpet or something rolled on top of their vehicle. They hit the brakes and that whole thing just flew off. I couldn't see most of what happened because I was seam ripping, but I'm sure you could hear it on the camera. So That's what you get for filming in a uncontrolled environment. Alright, so I've got all these little bits and pieces. But now there's still a few little pieces in there. We're getting closer to the fun part. Or the more monotonous part, however you look at it. This is definitely going to be the television, the part where you're going to be putting in the latest season of Outlander or something. Alright, so now we are on a roll and we are unraveling. And sometimes you can unravel directly onto a yarn winder or a skein winder. I find it a little more difficult to do that. I like to just go like this and make a little ball, and that keeps my thread from making knots, and it's nice. It's a nice little cotton. I'm kind of looking for a little strand of nylon. Sometimes the nylon is woven right in, but oh, I think I see it right there in the middle. Oh. Looks like it's a 3-ply, 2 plies cotton, 1 ply nylon. So that should make some nice comfortable socks. This is probably, I'd consider this a heavy fingering weight yarn. And the nice thing about it is this natural color. And I think I might keep some of it this natural color, but later on in one of these later videos I'm going to show you how to solar dye, and I think I'll dye this into some funky colors so that I'll have bright socks. And we just keep going. And that, folks, is how you take apart a sweater to reclaim the fiber from it. You can do this with cardigans. I love deconstructing cardigans because the added bonus is buttons. So sometimes buttons can be expensive. But if you go to a thrift store and you see a cardigan that has really fancy buttons on it and they're selling it for $3, grab it, because it alone is worth the cost just for the buttons. And like I said, you can really find some beautiful luxury fibers. If you're a chenille person, there's some lovely chenille sweaters. And when you're shopping for the cardigan, you just want to check it for some stains and some holes. Stains are not a big obstacle because in a lot of cases you can dye over them, or you can simply clip the stain out. It's going to look completely different once you've repurposed that fiber. But you do want to keep track of the fiber contents. I'm always on the lookout for silk and cashmere, and this of course was a there's a lot of cotton cardigans out there, but this one had the nylon in it, which is, I saw it, and I saw socks because I love knitting socks. So I'll take photos as I go along here so that you can see the various stages of this yarn being transformed from, you know, this sweater, a nice sweater, kind of homely, but you know, perfectly, it's alright, but it's gonna make great socks. Alright, so thank you for watching the video for today, and I'll see you the next time. And tune in to all of our videos on the library's YouTube channel. We love it when people visit, and tell us what you think. Alright, so enjoy, get out there and try this yourself. It can be addicting if you're a fiber artist. There's a lot of things that you can do with this yarn once you reclaim it. And if you need some help, our library knitting circle meets Thursdays at 1 p.m. and of course right now we're meeting virtually through Zoom. But someday we will resume meeting in person at Billings Public Library, 1 p.m. All right, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.